I have a very important question for all my entrepreneurial friends out there. Do you keep burning out in your business, or are you noticing that you are putting yourself last on your to-do list? In this video, I've invited Brigid Dineen, Boundary Queen, to come on and talk to us about how we can make self-care a part of our business plan. If we haven't met yet, my name is Lindsay Johnson, the Radical Connector, and my job is to teach new entrepreneurs super simple business skills, including feel-good marketing and sales strategies. For more super simple and easy to implement business building advice, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so you get notified when I post new videos every Monday. Now, are you ready to stop shitting on yourself? All right, let's do this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our special conversation with Brigid Dineen. Hi, Bridget.
Hey, Lindsay.
So, friends, if you have not yet met Brigid, you are about to fall in love. Brigid is known as the Boundary Queen for a very good reason. She is the epitome of be kind, but take no shit. Brigid, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and why people call you, why you call yourself the Boundary Queen.
So I'm a resilience coach for women on a mission. And as you said, I love that phrase, be kind, but take no shit, because let me tell you, that is one of the shadow sides of being a strong woman so often, is this idea of taking a lot of shit because you are an overgiver, because you feel responsible for everybody else's stuff, because you're good at it, because you're the go-to person, like all of that stuff, right? And so in all of my years of coaching, this is really the theme that I saw coming up time and time again. I used to coach fitness, and when I did that, same thing, like didn't really matter what change people were trying to make in their lives. I think that this is something that a lot of people struggle with, is putting themselves on the priority list and, claiming your time and your energy and your peace of mind. And that's all what's necessary in order to actually do what you want with your life in the first place, instead of just, kind of deferring your life away or falling into different life paths. So
Paths and like ruts, like busy ruts, right? Or
Yeah.
put myself last ruts, which I think, and I say ruts because it's that rut in the brain. It's the groove in the brain that we're familiar with and used to walking. And if we're not bringing in that element of self-care, of boundaries, of space, we will just plop ourselves back into that groove, into that rut, and keep going. And COVID,
true.
right? COVID, in a lot of ways has been really great for folks who have been forced to slow down and reevaluate. And I know for myself, that was, after I got off over the initial stress and panic and survival mode and came out of that, what I was left with is, am I happy? Am I building my business in a way that supports the lifestyle that serves me and that I want? And the answer, Bridget, was no. No, and it shocked me because I thought I was.
I'm surprised to hear you say that, to be honest.
I was way too busy. What about you? Tell us your own experience of that.
Yeah. So for me, when this whole thing went down, when everything sort of shifted, I was a little bit slow to react, and that's typically my MO. So I saw a lot of people jumping into action and like creating new stuff and kind of hurrying themselves to get into this new game, this new era. But I sort of I say this with all the love in my heart. And I mean, it's important. Like that's a role to play as well, right? There are people, there are players that occupy that space really well. But for me, I kind of felt this, it's like I just had this pushback internally where I was like, nope, not yet. Nope, not there yet. I'm going to take a minute, going to take a beat. And so same thing. It was almost a reflex for me to get really reflective and to start to think about, where do I very intentionally want to go next, given everything that's happening right now. So it's been a really wonderful time to develop some new corporate relationships for me, which was a bit of a surprise and has worked out really well. And I'm really enjoying that, as well as stepping up to serve people in new ways, because this era has really highlighted, the stuff that maybe we've been tolerating or not noticing because it is habit, it is a rut, like you said.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people are ready now to say, you know what, I need to actually advocate for what my needs are, because if I don't, I'm just going to get steamrolled.
Honestly, I totally am going to interrupt you right now because you've dropped so many pieces of gold there, and I'd love to break some of that down. But that's it. If we start with that piece, which is the advocating for your peace of mind, for your mental health, for your space, right?
Mhm.
I am one of those people that jumped into action. As soon as I saw, by about mid-March, I was like, oh, I can see what's coming. And I knew for a lot of folks in my community, they're early stage entrepreneurs and they don't have strong online business, online marketing skill sets. And so I
Mhm.
created this online social summit where I brought in all these experts. And I mean, I think I spent 6 weeks behind my computer, morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, you were just cranking stuff out, I know.
I was because it was like, okay, so I've learned in a crisis, I'll get shit done. Like I
Yeah.
will get it done. But it came at a cost because I got very sick for about two
Mm.
weeks.
Yeah.
And it also meant that I was so busy taking care of everyone else, I didn't stop to think about what I need to do to take care of me.
Mhm.
Right. So let's dive into that. How do
Yeah.
you recommend that people who their inclination is to get into action still make space for themselves?
Yeah. So I really break it down into three primary categories or buckets. The first thing is to notice where you're shitting on yourself.
Yeah.
And that's noticing your self-talk, noticing where either you're pressuring yourself or you're responding to external pressure that perhaps doesn't actually resonate with your values, but it's again that impulse to say, oh, I've got to live up to this standard. I've got to please this person. I've got to follow through on this old commitment that I'm really resentful about because 5 years ago I said I would do it,
Right.
whatever that is. So noticing the places where you're putting pressure on yourself to follow through on things that maybe aren't really resonating anymore.
And track like you just said, track the resentment,
Yeah.
track the pressure,
Yeah.
track the sleepless nights, right?
Yeah.
Like track that and ask yourself, am I shitting on myself? Am I doing something because I think I should, not because I want to or it serves me?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think you raise a good point as well about the idea of tracking the resentment, because I think that anger is an emotion that's really been butting up for a lot of people lately. We've seen a lot of it, globally in the last little while. And I think that anger is a really, really powerful, beautiful, wonderful thing as long as we have a healthy relationship to it. So noticing what pisses us off and starting to pay closer attention to those things
Yeah.
is going to get you closer to what matters.
Yeah.
It's that smoke signal. It's
Well,
saying, I
and
need your attention.
I was just gonna say this is exactly it. Anger is a red flag for you. Anger doesn't have to be projected out. Anger
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be expressed outwardly. It is a red flag for you to say something's not right here. Whether again a boundary's been crossed,
And
right?
needs not being met. Yeah.
Needs not being met,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
so, and don't push it down. Let it come up. Don't project it. Don't push it. But feel it and connect to why. Why am
Yeah.
I angry? And would you say that people struggle with asking themselves that question and then answering it? Why am I angry?
Yeah, because I think that we really have been taught to shove it down.
Yeah.
We either have examples of toxic anger or a complete lack of being able to even notice it when it's coming up.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Mhm.
and so there's some deep work involved in reacquainting yourself with your anger and being able to do as you say, the inner work required to get clarity before then going and expressing yourself or taking action.
I love it.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
sure that's
So
going to lead into another step then. That sounds like the perfect segue.
and then it's actually very much tied to this. The second part is to sense your truth. Yeah, we
Yeah.
spend so much time in our heads thinking about what needs to come next, and we're disconnected. It's like we're living from here up.
Mhm.
But we're in so doing, we're cutting ourselves off from this wealth of wisdom. And it's like our body is a compass, right? Where if I don't know if you ever played the game Warm or Colder when you were little.
Yeah.
But essentially, if we start to think of life as a game like that, where like if I'm feeling a little not so attracted to that circumstance or what have you, or if I'm noticing I feel lighter, I feel warmer, I feel more open, then that's going to give you a sense of what's actually true for you. And this is where you can notice your needs. You can really start to take account of what's missing. If something resonates with you deeply, and if it gives you a sense of relief, if it brightens your energy, then all of those things deserve to be counted.
100%. Like you are speaking my language. This is such an important element in everything that we do. And I absolutely bring this into when I'm teaching folks how to build a business and how to get into
Mhm.
marketing and sales and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if it's feeling icky, if it's making you feel tired, if you're avoiding it, if you're resentful, don't do it. That's not the
Yeah.
right way for you. It's like if something is getting you excited and lighting you up, even if it feels like it doesn't make sense, even if you don't know what's on the other side of that excitement, it's okay. follow it.
Yeah, we've got to live from that place of curiosity, and not pressure ourselves to have all the answers before we take the first step, right? Like just letting ourselves be shown, letting ourselves be drawn, to whatever feels interesting, or whatever's lighting us up. Yeah, and so of course we do this inner work, right? We're turning the volume down on the inner critic. We're turning the volume up on our felt sense of what is right for us, what our needs are, giving ourselves that space. And then the rubber meets the road, because we've got to advocate for ourselves, right? Because if only it were so simple that we just we feel it, we stop telling ourselves crap, and we're good to go. But no, because we have relationships often where we've set things up in a certain way, and people have come to expect certain things. And so, getting a handle on how to have a courageous conversation, how to be able to advocate for yourself when you do want to flip the script and you do want to, start heading in a new direction, is a really, really important skill too. And that happens in two ways. It happens in relationship with others and also in relationship with ourselves. Yeah. Because I think, especially as entrepreneurs, because you don't have a boss often it really is just changing the rules for yourself and giving yourself that space to follow through on what's meaningful to you and what is actually going to make you personally, and then in turn your business, more sustainable.
So it's really interesting, because I was at a whatever group thing back before, when we could still meet as a group. Mm-hmm. And they were it was all about boundaries, and the person facilitating was giving scripts for how to establish boundaries in a relationship, in a conversation. And it was so rigid and so forceful, and did not take the other person into account. It wasn't an equal energy co-created conversation. It was me putting up a wall and saying, deal with it. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people think when they think about establishing a boundary or advocating for themselves. And I know that's not you. So what do you recommend? Is there like a really simple, just even introductory sentence that someone can use to get the ball rolling when they advocate for their boundaries?
I love that you brought this up, because the thing that people don't actually realize is that healthy boundaries are actually flexible boundaries.
That's exactly
right. So we often think, oh, I've been a pushover all this time. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's it. I will take no shit ever, But I was actually working with a client of mine recently who we just came to the end of our coaching engagement. And she was like, you know what? It's funny. I always thought I would have to be this completely different person in order to have better boundaries. But what this has shown me is that actually I had this blind spot of all this other stuff was possible, if only I could get out of, that rigid thinking that I need to be the one to clean up all the messes and put out all the fires. I don't have to just say, I'm not available anymore. I can say, this isn't working for me. How about we try this? Or do you have any other ideas about how we might get those needs met? Flexibility is key.
120 million%. That's exactly it. And I love it, because you are so great at giving people the tools to say what they need to say in the moment to get them there. And also you're so great at giving that perspective to people and kind of disproving what, maybe it's like a more of a patriarchal type boundary, like this really rigid, intense, harsh me sense of boundary, into it's not about that. It's actually about recognizing when things are not feeling good for you, and then saying, this doesn't feel good for me, and letting go, as you said, of the should attached to that, or the resentment, or I have to, and going, what is possible for me? What does feel good for me? It's not about boxing yourself in. It's about expanding the way that you think about things and approach things.
Yeah. Exploring those new possibilities, right? And you don't have to be the one to figure out the solution all the time either. Sometimes just saying, this isn't really working for me anymore. What else is possible?
It's not a one-sided experience, right? Like, Bridget, we were supposed to record this and do this morning, right? Earlier. And then you wrote me and you said, hey, something's come up. Can we change it? If not, that's fine. I understand it's last minute. It's not about you saying, I have to do this, or there's no other thing. You're able to come and say, this is what's up. What can we do? And I'm now a part of finding a solution.
There you go. And the old me never would have asked, because I would say to myself, I shouldn't ask for last minute changes. And the new me realizes that sometimes people are flexible. And so I honor my commitment. And at the same time, if there was a possibility to shift it a little so it was a better fit for me, then I was going to ask for that. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking, because I would have felt terrible, right? If you were because the call is a totally different energy now. We're relaxed. We're both where we need to be at the right time. And I think that's the thing that we don't account for, is how when we let go of rigidity, when we let go of shoulds, and we tap into what feels good and open up a dialogue, everything shifts and changes around that. And everything, now you give space for things to line up instead of forcing something that's going to now feel gross.
I think at the end of the day, a lot of us burn ourselves out for our businesses. They're like, the hustle culture is real.
Yeah.
The idea that the harder you work, the faster you're going to get there. Yeah. But if you're not there to keep it going, or if it requires you to continue at the same velocity on, like, in this endless kind of a way, then it's not going to get you anywhere, and you're going to quit. It's either not going to work or you're going to quit.
It's not sustainable. It's not realistic. And it's not how businesses are built. Businesses are built over years, friends, not over months. And
Absolutely.
when you let go of that, everything changes.
It's so true. And I think at the end of the day, this is the thing, is that when you talked about our chat today and bringing the right energy to it. And that's what self-care does. Yeah. It allows you to actually be capable of meeting the challenges of your day, right? Like, if you're burning the candle at both ends, you're not sleeping, you're not moving your body, you're eating like crap, like, you just don't have the energy, the mental clarity. None of these things are really falling into place. And so if you really want to find your flow in terms of being able to stay committed to your business until it works, then that is a fundamental piece of the puzzle.
Bridget, thank you so much for this fun conversation, and for, like, I don't know, I got a whole bunch of notes here, so I'm pleased. I hope y'all that are watching are pleased. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with us today, and for giving us a piece of your time. All right, bye everybody.
Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are a new entrepreneur who is struggling to get clients quickly and easily, I want you to click the link below and go download my 4 business building basics every new entrepreneur needs to know mini course. For more support and to connect with other first-time entrepreneurs who can't wait to become your new business bestie, make sure that you click the link below again and join my community, Rad Connectors, on Facebook. I got 2 more videos lined up for you. The first one is on how you can ditch self-doubt, and the next one is how imposter syndrome might be causing you to undercharge in your business. If you're having a business struggle that you want me to cover, make sure that you put it in the comments below. If you like this video, I want you to go hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and why not share it with your business besties. Until next time, friends, happy connecting. I will see you online.